Hey everyone, my name is Shanice and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to do a quick little review of Dune 2. I actually saw this movie in theaters on IMAX the day that it came out. I don't think I've ever seen a movie the day that it's released, but I just thought that this would be like a good way to end a work week. Just going to the theater and watching this movie, one that I have been waiting for since Dune 1, which I loved. I read Dune as one of my big book challenges a couple of years ago, and I was shocked that I loved it. Overall, it tells the story of Paul Atreides. His father was made the Duke of Arrakis, which is a planet that is known for the production of spice, which can lengthen life and increase one's senses. So every power vies for control of this spice. Paul's family, his father specifically, and really all of the Atreides are killed by the Harkonnen, which is a competing realm. Paul Atreides escapes to Dune / Arrakis. Dune, the original name of Arrakis. Dune is a Fremen word. The Fremen are natives to Arrakis, and they have kind of lost control of their own planet. They are seeking self-determination, self-rule. They want Fremen to rule a Fremen territory, basically, not outsiders, not colonizers, if you will, not imperialist, but Fremen. And so Paul, he kind of starts learning about Fremen culture, speaking the languages. His mother is part of the Bene Gesserit, which are only made up of women. They are able to sort of see the future, see the entirety of the past. They can force people to do things just through speech. They're very powerful women, and they in their own way are integral to making sure that the bloodlines continue. And so the Bene Gesserit have a prophecy that there will be a sort of messiah to come and save the planet of Arrakis from war and lead the Fremen in war and ultimately bring rule back to the Fremen. Throughout the novel Dune, we realize that it seems Paul is this messiah, or at least people who surround him want him to be and believe him to be, and so he starts taking on this role, taking on more leadership and discovering his own confidence and abilities. So Dune 2 starts right back in from where Dune Part 1 left off. Dune 2 is again directed by Denis Villeneuve and stars Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides. Zendaya comes back as Chani, who is a young Fremen woman who starts to take a liking to Paul. She approves of and is endeared by his earnestness and his honesty in wanting to learn the culture. I guess the Fremen are used to people coming in and co-opting their language, their spice, their land, and using it as their own, where they never really show any interest in actually learning their ways, their customs. But Paul seems to genuinely want to learn more, and so she's flattered by it. So Dune 2 primarily does focus on Paul seeping himself in Fremen life. What I love about this movie is just how it portrays faith and how oftentimes religion and faithful people tend to bend over backwards to make something fit their belief system, no matter what. I think you can point to any real life modern day religion and see how as soon as something doesn't make sense, a lot of the times it's, oh well, you know, the deity works in mysterious ways, or forcing a deeper meaning onto something that might not have one. So I don't know, I think it's really fascinating how it's just sort of chronicling how religion begins. Javier Bardem's character Stilgar is the leader of the Fremen, and it seems like in this world the northern Fremen and the southern Fremen have very differing belief systems. The southern Fremen are known as more fundamentalist, whereas in the north they're less tied to a creed. They're maybe more free thinking, if you will. Stilgar is originally from the South, so even though he has been in the North for a while, he still holds some belief systems that are passed down to the South by the Bene Gesserits. This prophecy, he's sort of believing it more and more as he spends time with Paul. Also, you have to understand that these are people who are desperate to get their land back and to control their own territory. So it's almost out of necessity that they need a Messiah figure. It might not even be because they really believe that Paul lives up to the prophecy as much as it's convenient for him to live up to the prophecy now to lead them to win this war. And Stilgar just has really funny lines throughout this. It's hilarious just how much he bends reality to make sure that Paul, no matter what, fits the prophecy. It also is interesting how Chani in particular, a lot of her friends, are making a point that if there is a Messiah figure, you know, shouldn't he be Fremen? It's questioning that Lawrence of Arabia-ish quality of the entire Dune story. Why do the Fremen need an outsider to bring them success? Why can't a Fremen do that for themselves? There's also a really nice moment, a funny one, and very telling. As much as Paul is open to learning about this new culture, he still has some blind spots and, you know, some moments where he could be better. There's a moment where he's learning how to properly sandwalk because there are these worms, these sandworms under the sand. They are lured to the top by noises, and I guess if you're walking, that steady beat of your footsteps can sound like attractive to the sandworms, and they might come up if your walking is too steady and too rhythmic. So they do this sand walk, which is unpredictable. It's very interesting. It's an interesting concept. And so Chani teaches him how to sandwalk. And as he's learning, he's like, actually, my textbooks say that you're not supposed to walk this way. My textbook says this, this, and that. And Chani's looking at him like, I am Fremen. I don't care what your textbooks have to say about my culture. I have lived this culture from day one. So forget your textbooks. This is the real world. Which I think is so appropriate to modern day, honestly. Instead of intellectualizing everything, just being. I think it's a very important scene. I thought overall the production design was stunning, absolutely stunning. Some of it is filmed in Jordan, and you know, it takes me back to when I went to Jordan, and I think they went to Wadi Rum and maybe other areas. It seems familiar, but just to know that in real life some of that beauty actually does exist is very awe-inspiring. I will say that the Harkonnen sets, all of the costuming was so cool, so gorgeous. It almost, like, I know we're supposed to not like the Harkonnen, but they kind of look pretty awesome. I mean, Feyd-Rautha, played by Austin Butler in an incredible performance. Again, we're supposed to hate him, but he's kind of cool. Psychotic, but like interesting. I couldn't take my eyes off him whenever he was on screen. And I loved that Austin Butler was kind of doing Stellan Skarsgård's accent. He makes very unique and interesting choices, and yeah, I really did pick up on that accent. Of all of the Harkonnen, he's like the only one doing Stellan, which fits because Stellan is the guy in power and everyone wants the power, so yeah, it makes sense. The guy played by Bautista was, I don't think intentionally funny, but kind of made me crack up in every scene that he was in. He's just a child. He just wants to smash things and, you know, gain power and control everyone, but he sucks at it. So he just gets mad and starts killing people. I don't know if that was the direction for the actor, but it worked. He was just pathetically power hungry, and yeah, it was funny. I love the whole lore of the Bene Gesserit. the fact that when someone becomes the Reverend Mother, as Paul's mother has to do in this film, the process by which they become the Reverend Mother is that they drink this like liquid that comes out of baby sandworms. It's blue, it's like thick, it actually kind of looks good. That might just be a me thing, I don't know. But once they drink this, they take on all of the past, all of the memories, all of the suffering of all the Reverend Mothers before them. And Paul's mom has this comment where, you know, only women, of course only women can be part of Bene Gesserits. Men can't handle that kind of stuff. It's lethal for men, and it's not for women because women kind of already have to do that. So it was a really smart and clever parallel to the real world too. And their costuming is just so fantastic. Everything, just everything about this film looks beautiful, well thought out, fully realized. This is the prime of technical and artistic ability just on screen. You know, it was interesting. There was this fight scene featuring Feyd-Rautha battling 3 people. I'm curious why it was in black and white. I noticed that it's like the closer characters got to the main, you know, pit, the battle pit, it got black and white, and then like the characters coming out of it would go back into color. I noticed that with Léa Seydoux, she was, you know, sitting spectating, and you follow someone else coming into the scene and they are in color, and then as they approach her they become black and white. So I don't know what exactly what it means other than it looks cool. It's a, you know, a form of visual separation, but curious to know like why it is that way. But just generally, I thought this was even better than Dune Part 1. I would give it 5 stars. I was just enthralled. I remember when I saw it in the theaters, it kept my attention so much I didn't use the bathroom. And this is like 2.5 hours long and I needed to use the bathroom, but I could not break away from the screen. It was beautiful to see on a big screen, great sound, just an experience, a cinematic experience. And I own it now, as you can see, and I'm so glad that now I can watch some of the special features. Maybe they explain the black and white, I don't know, but I'm so glad that I have it with me. I can watch it whenever I want. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I have yet to continue with the Dune book series. I've only read book 1. I don't know. I always say, oh well, you know, now I really want to read the next one, and then a year passes and I don't, but it's short enough that I certainly should finish it quickly if I do pick it up soon. But yeah, I will absolutely continue reading the books, and just I'm so interested in this epic intergalactical battle that is about to take place. I'm curious and I'm excited, and I know Denis Villeneuve we're in good hands for the next film or the next few films. I don't know how many there are, but absolutely loved Part 2 Dune. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have you seen Dune Part 1 or 2? Let me know your thoughts down below, and like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.